Today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic, nature versus nurture. Before we even go to a more serious discussion about nature and nurture, let's understand a few simple concepts to make our discussion easier.
Genes, DNA, and chromosomes are what make you who you are. They are the set of instructions that are given to you by your father and mother. These instructions are in your cells, and all living organisms are composed of cells. There are many different types, like nerve cells and hair cells and skin cells. They all have different shapes and forms, but every cell has the same basic parts. The cell has an outer border called the membrane, which contains a liquid material called cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm is the nucleus, and inside the nucleus are chromosomes. In humans, each cell normally contains 23 pairs of chromosomes, for a total of 46. 22 of these pairs, called autosomes, look the same in both males and females. The 23rd pair, the sex chromosomes, differ between males and females. Females have 2 copies of the X chromosome, while males have one X and one Y chromosome. The chromosomes are really long strings of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is shaped like a ladder that's been twisted. This shape is called a double helix. The steps of the ladder are made of 4 bases. Adenine is A, thymine is T, guanine is G, and cytosine is C. A stretch of the DNA is called a gene. Your body reads the genes and the letters like a recipe and builds protein. The order of the bases in the DNA, along with the length and sequence of the gene, determines the size and shape of the protein it builds. The size and shape of the protein determine the function it will have in your body. Proteins make up cells, cells make up tissue, and tissue makes up organs, like your eyes and your skin. So the genes determine what you are, a cow, an apple, or a human, and what you will look like, the color of your hair, your skin, your eyes, and so on.
Even though genes may affect our child's traits and behavior, experiences and environment may affect gene expression, or what we call as nurture. For example, we inherit a certain level of intelligence from our parents' genes. But because we were given healthy diet and positive stimulation for brain growth at infant stage, new connections in the nerve cells were developed, and this has helped in the child's intellectual development. Another good example of how nurture plays a role, twins from a family were separated from young. One was placed under the care of an underprivileged family and the other under the care of a well-to-do family. The child under the underprivileged family may not be as successful as the other sibling because she had to eat less nutritious food and was exposed to a less enriching experience compared to her sister, who probably had the opportunity to consume a healthy diet and experience positive stimulation for growth. However, which is stronger, nature or nurture? That has always been the question at hand. The truth is none. It is not nature versus nurture, but rather nature and nurture. They actually work hand in hand. Sometimes, in cases of canalization and gene-environment correlation, nature is given priority. However, in cases of gene-environment interaction, the gene is affected at how it responds to the environment. Meaning, nurture can also play a role in changing the gene. When is nature given priority? Well, there are 4 instances. 1. Canalization. 2. Passive genotype-environment correlation. 3. Evocative genotype-environment correlation. And 4. Active genotype-environment. What is canalization? Well, canalization is the ability of a population to produce the same phenotype regardless of the variability of the environment. For example, a child will be able to sit up and walk no matter in what environment the child is in, and she or he can pick up speech ability in any environment. The gene restricts the development of certain traits to one or a few outcomes even in response to different environments, except in cases of strong environmental forces. Gene-environment correlation, on the other hand, is genes that influence the environment they are exposed to. This also changes with age. At a younger age, passive correlation occurs, but at an older age, active correlation occurs. Let's look at the second instance, which is passive genotype environment correlation. This occurs when the children are still young. The environment the parent provides is influenced by the parent's own gene. For example, the father is a pro footballer and he exposes his son to football training at a young age. His son is good at football. Other than the training, he could be good due to his father's talent. This happened passively without the child realizing it. What about the third instance, which is evocative genotype environment correlation? This occurs when the child is older. For example, if the child is an extrovert, the probability of the child socializing and getting social stimulation is greater than when the child is an introvert. So children who are cooperative and responsive tend to get more attention. Fourthly, let's talk about active genotype environment, where our genes seek out the environment they prefer. The child makes choices based on what he prefers. Children who are more athletic tend to be involved in school sports. Meanwhile, children who are more musically inclined tend to join music activities. Now let us look at genes that are affected by the environment, or in other words, when nurture is given priority. Gene-environment interaction is when the gene responds to a certain environment. According to Gottesman, genotype may set boundaries for a range of possible phenotype. Here the gene do not determine the exact trait rigidly, but the environment it is exposed will determine the level it will appear. Example, a child who experiences strong attachment will portray good social behavior, but a child who did not receive strong attachment might show some antisocial behavior, and a child who was abused by his mother would show an aggressive behavior. Nature tends to work hand in hand with nurture. Till we meet again in the next video. Goodbye.